but over 100 billion a year on SNAP.
But the idea that we're giving Israel all of this money, it's not even our country, and then we're telling Americans, hey, get back to work, peasant. You can't have Coca-Cola, you can't have candy, you can't have a nice meal for your family.
You absolutely shouldn't have Coca-Cola or candy if you don't work. The $3 billion to Israel that we should also cut has nothing to do with it. It's less than a 50th.
I just think we should solve all of those other extraneous problems before we start telling American citizens we can't have nice luxuries. Yeah, you should work for
Sure you can if you work for it. It'd be like looking at that car and it doesn't work, going, not the engine, not the transmission. Let's fix the bolt on that hubcap. That would be the money to Israel. By the way, I say cut all of it, but it's not even close to SNAP, let alone if you get to what illegal immigration. The social safety nets, the welfare state that we have is so much astronomically higher. It's so much higher. That was horrible grammar. I'm tired. I've been here for about 5 hours at this point, and I just had to sit down with a furry and act like I didn't think it was degeneracy. But we're at the point now where we have to actually deal with the problem, and this is one of the primary problems. And I think that it's a red herring to say, yeah, but Israel, great, cut it too. It's not even close, but we do have to bring up one of the. So I think we agree on principle, and I agree with you on all. We don't disagree on anything. Cut all of it. You want Coca-Cola? Go buy it.
The deal you turned down from Ben Shapiro's corporation was worth $50 million.
Sure.
So
the company, it employs about 30 people.
A lot of money, though. And we're still funding Israel. We're still funding all of these militaries across the United States. We're in a deficit of our own military.
We're funding the military of the United States.
Well, we're in a deficit for our own, national protection.
There's not even close.
Because of how much we're giving to them. So I do have questions, though. Where do you make your money? Who funds you?
It's entirely funded by viewers. Yeah, about 85% is people who choose to subscribe. So no outside money from donors, from nonprofits, and we do one sponsor a day that makes up about 15% of revenue.
Okay. Based on the demographic of SNAP recipients that I'm thinking of being single mothers, and based on the cancellation that you went through in 2021, do you see how that is kind of
No, I don't. I don't see how it's relevant to subsidizing a government program that's a failure and rife with fraud.
I just think it's interesting that you have put someone in a position of potentially needing to rely on that and then turn around and dunk on the other people who also need to rely on it.
I think it's potentially interesting that you believe things that you see in the media and have no idea of the situation that she is. You think she's on SNAP and ex-wife, but I'm not allowed to discuss it because that's the mother of my children.
You're rich. She's not going to be on SNAP. I'm glad you respect the mother of your children.
I'm not going to be discussing that issue. And I think it's a very feminist thing to then go since I can't actually argue this point, let me go to something personal when they're ushering you
out. The hypocrisy. The no-fault divorce thing, that's a whole other topic. I wish we would have talked about that instead because I think
biggest failure of Ronald Reagan. Yeah.
I think that would have been a lot more interesting, but
I know, but it's the sign. We have to talk about the sign. I know it's a feminist thing to want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, but the sign is about SNAP.
I brought it back in.
Did you bring it back in?
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that a lot of women end up on SNAP from situations like that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, this was later in the day. Not all of the conversations were taking place in good faith or were productive at all. And surprisingly, very few people had anything to disagree with once they knew the money on which we were spending these resources for SNAP.